If you are a mom that's over 30 and you've been telling yourself for the past years that you're going to go back to school, but you still haven't done it, then this video is for you. I'm not going to give you a list of reasons why you should do it, and I'm not going to motivate you. I want us to talk about the truth why you keep stalling. I can only say this because I stalled for 8 years. And the thing that finally got me to move, it wasn't more research, it wasn't more clarity, and it wasn't waiting until my life got stable. It was actually something else entirely. And that is what I want to talk to you about in this video. If you're watching for the first time, I'm Jai. I'm 31 years old. I'm a mom, and I'm preparing to start my PhD program this fall. And as someone who spent 8 years to get her bachelor's degree, I'm simply documenting my journey. And what took me so long was because I continued starting and stopping. I was constantly dropping classes. I failed a couple of classes. I withdrew more times than I could count. And then I would punish myself by enrolling the next semester in even more classes out of guilt. And for years, it just seemed like I was in this cycle. And the entire time, I was telling myself the same thing that you're probably telling yourself right now. Maybe next semester. Maybe I just need to get my life together. What if I start this time and I don't finish? And if you have ever thought any of those things, then this video specifically is for you. For years, I thought that my problem was just logistics, money, time, the fact that life just kept getting in the way. And here's what I realized. And it wasn't until I took some time off and finally looked back and I realized that those reasons weren't actually the reasons at all. The real reason that I kept stalling was because I just didn't trust myself. I didn't trust myself to follow through. Every time I thought about re-enrolling, my brain ran the same calculation. I've started so many times. What if this time I don't finish? You know what? It's safer to not start at all than to start and then quit again. I made to-do lists. I came up with plans. I was over researching because that felt more productive than me actually doing the work. But it's not. It's actually a way of staying close enough to a dream so that you feel hopeful, but far enough away so that you never have to find out how to actually get there. And if you're listening to this right now and this is you, it doesn't mean that you're lazy. In fact, you're not. You are not behind. This beautiful brain that you have that God gave you is simply protecting itself from another disappointment. And I get it. But that is actually the exact thing that is keeping you stuck. And this is the thing that shifted for me. I stopped trying to rebuild self trust through consistent planning. And what I started doing was make really small promises to myself and actually follow through with them. These bite sized promises were things like, you know what, for this term, I'm going to register for just one class. I'm going to email just one advisor this week. I'm going to sit with the application just for 20 minutes and I won't even submit it today. I'll just sit with it. I made these promises almost embarrassingly tiny, but every time that I followed through on my goals, I was collecting new evidence for myself. I was slowly becoming a person who would now follow through, who now was a person I was able to build self trust through this process. See, the version of me who existed 8 years ago, the one who was always starting and stopping, she wasn't broken. She simply didn't have enough evidence that she was somebody who could finish. And I had to give her some. And that is how I finished my bachelor's degree. That is how I applied to PhD program. And that's how I'm sitting here right now with an acceptance letter to a PhD program. I'm starting my PhD this fall as a mom to a toddler, and I have no idea how I'm going to balance all of this, but I'm not going to wait until I have the blueprint all figured out. Because another thing that I've learned is that waiting until I'm ready is just another way of me stalling. So if you are a mom and you have been thinking about going back to school, I want you to listen to me clearly. You are not too far behind. The 8 years that I lost, those years didn't disqualify me. They taught me what I actually wanted, that I could survive. And it taught me about what kind of life I was actually building toward. The PhD program that I just got into, it wasn't despite those 8 years, it was because of it. So, guess what? Your nonlinear path is not your obstacle. The story that you have been telling yourself about this nonlinear path, that is the obstacle. You don't need to know if you can finish, and you don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to wait until your child is older or until your job is more flexible, or until you have everything all figured out. You just need to do one small thing this week. That is going to prove to you that you can follow through. That's it. That is the whole thing. So I'm using this channel to document my entire 5-year journey throughout my PhD program. And I'm sharing everything, the outreach, the lab visits. And I'm doing this, I'm documenting this journey specifically for the woman who has been about to go back to school for the past 8 years. Because the reason I never saw anyone like me when I was stalling for 8 years is the same reason that a lot of moms feel like grad school just isn't for them. We don't see the messy middle. We see people who have already finished, and they almost make it look like they always knew, but they didn't. I didn't, and neither do you. So lately, I've been using AI to help me build new systems so that I can sustain this new life that I'm walking into. I've been using AI to help to bridge the science that I just haven't touched in years. I'm building systems that will make this work with my toddler. So if you want a window to know what it looks like, to know what's not working, then that's going to be here. So before you close this video, I just want you to do one thing. Open the Notes app on your phone and just write down the one school related thing that you've been avoiding. Not the entire plan, just the single next step that you keep walking past. That could be an email to an advisor. It could be requesting your transcript or looking up an application deadline. Whatever it is, I want you to put a date on it. Not next month, this week. And I want you to let me know what that one thing is. I would love to know in the comments down below. I read every single comment that comes in on this channel. And a year from now, I want you to come back and tell me that you did it. I invite you to subscribe if you would like to come with me through my PhD. I post one video a week and they're all real. So I'll see you next week.